I'm really tired. I tried to upload a video a second ago, but didn't want to register, so I'm gonna leave that video out because it didn't really matter. It was like 4 minutes. Anyways, you saw the thumbnail. I almost died a couple of times, actually, and I'm gonna start off with the first time I almost died. It wasn't more like I almost died. It was more like just an incident. It was just like an earthquake. I could skip past that part. We'll go to when I was like 6. When I was 6, I I was horrible. I I had a really weak immune system. I've had breathing problems since like the beginning of life. I got sick really easily, and it still hasn't been great overall as of now. I still get sick really easily. I still have breathing problems, and um the first major problem I ever had was when I had gotten a stomach ache. And, as a kid, it's like, oh, it's a stomach ache. Like, 5-year-olds get that all the time. And so I had to deal with that. I went to school and everything. And I was like, dang, my stomach really hurts. And they'd be like, where is it at? They had to take me to the doctor. The doctor's like, where's your pain at? I'm like, right here. And I would like point and I would like pat to like the right side of my stomach. Now, the doctors didn't know this at the time, but it turned out I had appendicitis. That is inflammation of the appendix. Now, most people say that the appendix has no use. Actually, it does. It holds all the waste of germs and stuff and bacteria. And basically, when you have appendicitis, it means it's expanded, right? So basically, it had so much bacteria and germs. Like I was 5 years old. I was getting sick all the time, and my appendix was getting overworked. So so the appendix looks like this like little kind of like wrinkly balloon, and so basically just bacteria kept going in and in and in until eventually it was like on the verge of popping. But obviously they didn't know that, and it was just like it wasn't too bad. I was just like my tummy hurts really badly. Like, mom, my tummy hurts. Can I not go to school? And like I missed like 8A, and then I went back, which was kind of sucked. Until one day, I was in my mom and dad's bed, sleeping at the edge of the bed. Next thing you know, I wake up, like, felt like something popped in my stomach. I rolled off the bed. Luckily, like the bed was pretty high, at least in my point of view, because I was 5 years old. The bed was pretty high, and so when I rolled off the bed, I fell into a crate of socks right next to it, and that kind of saved me. And I was just like, I remember I was just laying there, just just going like, oh, and I was like crying, and my mom woke up. She checked me, and she's like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "No." Obviously, I didn't have attitude. If I did, like, if I had sarcasm at the time, I would have been like, "What do you think, mom? Do I look okay?" Well, obviously, I didn't. So I was just like, I was like, "Mom, my tummy hurts." So she had taken me to the doctors the next day. Again, they wrote it off as like a stomach ache. And I was just feeling horrible. I did not go to school that day, obviously, and they're just like, I wonder what's up. So I was going to like before that. I think I was going like a pediatric. I don't know if it was a pediatric center or a CVS because I was going to one of those places, but one of them was like, it's just stomach issues. You're gonna get over it. So for a whole day and a half, I think it was 2 days, I was dealing with. Okay, so basically the appendix I forgot to say this. When I had said when I had said I woke up and like it felt like something exploded in my stomach. The appendix literally exploded in my stomach. That means basically this little balloon went and they went, you know, and it just bacteria was all over my stomach. Like bacteria, germs. There could have been viruses. I doubt there was a virus. Because obviously I'm okay right now. So basically, um, I was suffering because my appendix had ruptured. It exploded. There's bacteria all over my guts and stuff. And the doctors didn't really know until I was like, yeah, it hurts right here. And the doctors took note of that because your appendix is in the right side, just under your intestines. It's like kind of attached to it. And they're like, okay, so you might have appendicitis. And so they had to get me x-rayed. Um, Not x-rayed. I had to do an MRI scan or CAT scan. And basically, I just went into like that little thing where like the doctor's like, okay, don't worry. There's like a little radiation, but not enough to affect you. And like at the same time, the doctor's like talking to you behind like a glass that's like 6 inches thick, and like there's like a freaking metal door that's like 10 inches thick. Yeah, so I didn't feel too comfortable about that. They asked me if I had metal in my body. Obviously, I didn't. But they're like, yeah, so if there's metal in your body, the little machine will pull it, and it could cause major damage. I had no clue what major was at the time. Like, I was 6 years old. I didn't know big words. Um, Anyways, yeah, so they did the scan on me, and they're like, we have to do surgery on this kid now, or else he's gonna die. Cause turns out, if you have a ruptured appendix, you could die within like 3 days, 2 days. Mind you, this was the second day of me having a ruptured appendix, so I was on the verge of death. I didn't know that. I was a little kid. I was oblivious. So, so I ended up going to So I ended up in the hospital. They were just like, okay, so we're gonna perform surgery on you, and we're gonna put you under anesthesia. It's supposed to make you fall asleep, okay? And I'm like, okay. And they're like, okay, you can count to 10. Okay, they're like, as soon as we put the mask on you, count down from 10, and then you'll probably be asleep by then. And this lady, she was so nice. She had like the Phineas and Ferb video going on her phone. She like let me watch it as I was going under anesthesia. And I guess they thought I was gonna knock out before I was gonna count down to 10. And so I'm like watching Phineas and Ferb counting down from 10, and I'm just like 10, 9, and I ended up getting to 1. I'm like, doctor, what do I do now? I counted down from 10. And she's like, count down from 10 again. I'm like, okay, 10, 9. I ended up knocking out that time. I knocked down at like 4. That's pretty good though. I got through like the whole intro of, or like not the whole intro of Phineas and Ferb, but I got through most of it. And like, I guess they didn't expect me to stay awake that long, but I think I did pretty good. Steve-O, I'm coming after your record. No, I'm not, because I couldn't do that. Anyways, yeah, so they put me under anesthesia. Did They operated on my stomach, or for the nerds out there, my gastrointestinal region, and basically they just removed the remaining of my appendix and cleaned up all the exploded bacteria in my stomach. And then basically I just stayed at the hospital for 3 days recovering. Um Before the operation, my mom told me, she was like, when you were sitting there, you asked me if you were gonna die, and I almost started crying, and I was like, that sounds like me. Um yeah, the operation went good. I ended up with I ended up with 3 scars. One of them's gone, so I have 2 very visible ones. I think you could kind of see the third one, but um, yeah. So I ended up staying there for 3 days, and then they dismissed me from the hospital. They tried to give me crutches. I was not tall enough to use the crutches, so instead they're like, you can walk out of here. And I was like, can't give me like a wheelchair or something. Like, dude, I just came out of an operation like 3 days ago. So I almost died from a exploded appendix. My body's super weak. Um, at least my immune system is. Okay. Um, was planning to tell my other stories, but honestly, this one took a while. This one took longer than I thought. So I'm just gonna explain the aftermath. The aftermath is, um, yeah, basically I'm fine. I don't have an appendix anymore. You can live without appendix because people say it's useless. It's not. Um, other than exploding, yeah, it could be. Other than exploding, um, so yeah, I would recommend. I recommend staying healthy because you don't want your appendix to explode and get yucky germs and bacteria all over your tummy. Anyways, that is the first story of how I almost died. I'll probably make another video on all the other times on how I almost died, but this was like one of the more eventful ones in my life, so um, yeah, that's how I almost died. Anyways, um, live good, um, eat healthy, eat your veggies, um, walk around every once in a while, maybe like 5 miles. No, I'm joking. That's what I do, but I know the average person doesn't do that. At least walk one. At least like just walk around. Just get out of the house. Anyways, that was my story on how I almost died. Thank you for watching. We're almost at 20 subscribers. That's freaking insane. Um, we're actually 2 away. Mind you, I never subscribed to my own channel on any of my different accounts, so that's why I feel so happy about it. Thank you for everyone who has helped me. Reagan, if you're watching this one, shout out to you. Um, Shout out to my friend Seabass again for being the first one to ever comment on my video. And shout out to all my haters and all my fans, cuz you all watch these videos and I really appreciate that. Anyways, I spent 2 minutes just saying thank you. So, it's 1 in the morning and I got to go to bed. So, I'll see you.